Hello and welcome back to another video, and today I have Mateo over here with me, and he's going to be showing us his Trap Shaddoll deck profile, one of the top contending decks for this current format. This deck does quite a bit, and Mateo over here, you guys probably know him from past videos. I will be linking his solid deck profiles, and yeah, he's pretty well known for that. And yeah, this deck is really popular in this current meta, and this is the Trap variant. So without further ado, be sure to smash the like button, comment down below what you guys think about Shaddoll's this format. Do you think that the Invoked variant is a bit better? I personally think this just edges it out just a tiny bit more. And without further ado, let's get right into the video. So without, I guess I said that already. Mateo, do you want to introduce yourself?
Oh yeah, hello guys, I'm Mateo. Obviously, if you've seen on the channel, it's probably for the Dino decks or the Solid decks. But yeah, let's get right into the deck.
Alright, go for it.
So, yeah, to start with the monsters, we go with the, objectively the best one, is Triple Shaddoll Wendy, or Shaddoll Wendy if you want to call it that. But this card is basically just the best one since it starts a whole combo, and its effect just allows you to continuously make more plays as it sets a Shaddoll from deck when it's sent to grid by a card effect. So yeah, moving on. Yeah, we go to Triple Shaddoll Squamata. Squamata is basically the searcher for the deck since it dumps any other Shaddoll, ensures their effect. And its set effect does come up sometimes when it's set and flip face up. You can pop a card on the field, pop a monster on the field.
And what
so yeah, it comes up.
What do you feel about the card's synergy with Schism? Because I find if you need to, you can send Squamata with Construct and then stack 2 in the grave or something for Schism. Does that come up for you?
Yeah. So basically, I'm probably going to be dumping Schism most of the time with Construct. And yeah, this actually allows you to send your Wendy and get another material for Schism. So like you can do some plays like that. Schism's like actually a disgusting card too for this deck because it's so searchable.
Alright, cool.
But yeah, moving on from that, one that used to be played at 1, but now we play it 2 just because it is really good, is Nil Shaddoll Aerial. This card's really good. Both of its effects are fantastic. When this card is sent to grave by card effect, it banishes 3 cards out of the graveyard. So it's not just your graveyard, it's also your opponent's. So sometimes what we do is with El Shaddoll Fusion or Schism is we'll make a construct on their turn with obviously Schism, dump an Aerial, and this card allows you just to banish out of grave. And against some decks, that can be turn ending, just because it's so powerful. And with the Schism, you also get to send with the attribute. So yeah, and then second effect comes up with your main combo. It's obviously like really ridiculous to actually pull off because it requires so many cards in hand. But if you have the setup, it is really important. But otherwise, you're just gonna be playing a trap grind.
Very cool card. All right.
Yeah. So now we're gonna go on to our one-ups. So for our one-ups, we go 1 Falco, 1 Hedgehog, 1 Beast, 1 Dragon, and 1 Chaos or Kaios.
All right. Just
so I'm gonna run.
Higher. Just move them a bit up. Like the spawn traps on.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So
yeah,
we're gonna run through every single one. So Falco, this card, if you guys don't know what it does, when it gets integrated by a card effect, you can set it. You just set itself again. So this card actually comes up in grind games a lot. This card is really good late game, and it just allows you to outgrind your opponent really. And its second effect just sets another Shaddoll from your graveyard. Yeah, really good. Hedgehog is just a searcher for the deck, as from deck to hand. And yeah, it's just not a necessary 2-up just because it's like objectively worse than your other guys over here. But yeah, it also searches your Shaddoll spells if it's set, which is good. Beast, it's just a drawer, and I think this is just like the best one up. This is the one where if you're gonna bump it up, you're gonna bump this one up. Then 2. We got Dragon, which pops back row, so against backward decks, this card is really good, and you can actually loop this card, which is really nice. And then Kaios is a searchable light, and that's the only reason you run him. His other effects are really garbage.
Alright, so
but yeah,
actually on these, are any of them cuttable?
The one that's cuttable is Kaios. These 4 I think you have to keep, and I would actually bump up engines if you were running more. Like if you weren't cut Kaios, I'd run 2 Dragon or 2 Beast, because these 2 are just the best
out
ones.
of those, actually, which one is the worst one?
Kaios is the worst, and then the second worst is probably Falco.
Alright, so you want to have access to like Beast and Dragon more than Falco?
Yeah. Falco's just good late game. It's just nice to have in deck late game. You're not really gonna use them early game unless you have to.
Alright, cool.
The other guys are just gonna be your early game pressure. Now on to the last monster, which is one of my favorite monsters in the game at the moment, is Triple Nibiru. Yeah, so this card kills Dragon Link, and it's a light monster. What more can you ask for?
I mean, I guess it's a pretty solid rock, you can say.
Stop it.
All
Stop it. Yeah. So this card is really good in the deck since it is light. Light monsters are very important, obviously, to make construct. And yeah, it ends Dragon Link's turn if they don't have the necessary setup. But usually you can out their board typically anyways. So yeah, this card is really good in the deck. That's it for the monsters. Yeah, our monster lineup is pretty swift. It's pretty clean, and I don't think I'd actually make any changes to it. I think it's pretty perfect.
All right.
Next on for the spells. So, we run triple Shaddoll Fusion. If you're forced to go second, this card's actually insane because you can just use materials from your deck.
And
really
why are you
busted
running
card.
3 of it? So I believe last format, for example, people were running less. So what's the reasoning on that?
Yeah. So in last format, there obviously the card everyone hates, VFD. This card just objectively loses to it. You'd rather have cards like Shaddoll because they help you stop them by summoning a window through a quick effect. This card just didn't do as much, unfortunately. VFD just kind of shut it down. So, but this format is super good.
Better, right?
Wait, excuse me, what you said?
Oh, I said now that VFD's banned, it's probably a lot better.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, with VFD banned, it's probably the best fusion spell in the deck.
Alright.
Next we go triple Shaddoll Fusion. I like maxing out all the fusions because they just are so versatile and they summon everything in your deck. So yeah, Shaddoll Fusion is really good, quick effect, really solid. And then lastly, the powerhouse card. We go triple Super Poly. So obviously, this card is actually insane. There is like debatably, this card is debatably one of the best cards ever printed, just because of like
very
the sheer
debatably,
power.
yes, very debatably.
Honestly, no,
it's a very powerful
like,
card.
Like this card is just ridiculous. The fact that your opponent can't respond to it is just nuts.
And his spell
and
speed for effect in general, I feel like is really good, especially in a deck like Shaddoll where you can fusion summon with it. It just really shines, right?
Yeah, you can just go Super Poly with your own card and their card, make a window or a construct, and then plus like crazy.
All right, cool.
Yeah, so that's for the spells. We actually don't run too many spells, just only the fusion spells we like to run, because they are the powerful spells of the deck. Not for the traps, not for the fun part of the decks. For the deck. So in trap theory, I was looking for cards that could possibly trigger your own Shaddoll cards, but also are really oppressive against your opponent. So first one is Needle Sealing. This card can do that, and with plus more. Since your face-down monsters are considered monsters on the field, it does count up to that 4.
How
but
about
this
we
card,
explain what Needle Sealing does real fast for a lot of the people who probably don't know what this card does?
Yeah, so basically, when there's 4 or more monsters on the board, you can activate this card and destroy face-up monsters on the field. So that's why it's really good in this deck. A lot of times you're going to have your monsters face down, so you can keep your advantage while blowing up your opponent's field on command. So it's really good.
And even if they are face up, then you can trigger all of your Shaddoll effects.
Yeah. And a good thing about this card, one really good deck in the format right now is Dinos. And this card actually eats Dinos because you just wait for them to go to the battle phase, and then most of the time they're going to have 3 monsters and you're going to have 1 set card. So you just activate Needle Sealing and just blow up their board because they're going to have nothing to stop it because they're usually summoning Velka.
Very stupid.
So yeah, really busted card. Next we go triple Dino Viscus. So this card's actually like so busted in this deck. You get a free banish on your opponent's field, and you get to trigger Shaddoll because it does not discard for cost. It discards as an
for
effect.
Cost, then you actually can't trigger the Shaddoll. That's why, for example,
so
Super Poly can't. But with a card like Dynamiscus, you can just target for cost, and then when you pitch, not only do you get to banish, but you get to trigger anything in your deck.
Yeah, so it's actually insane. This card is like an actual starter in the deck. It's really crazy. Just because it also banishes too, and banishing is really annoying for a lot of decks. For Dragon Link, if you banish some of their cards, it's really hard for them to play because they need to have resources in their grave.
Alright, cool.
Yeah, so the next powerhouse trap in the deck is Treasure Tribute. This card's actually insane too because it has a similar thing to Needle Sealing, just it also blows up your cards like guaranteed. So you will get pluses. So yeah, this deck can actually utilize Treasure Tribute the most just because it triggers your own effects super well. and you're just wiping your opponent's field.
If you guys notice, there is the common trend between all of these trap cards that not only do they disrupt your opponent, but they do get your combos going, especially if you have a bad hand. So these are like the most optimal trap cards for Shaddoll. While they might not be the best trap cards in general, and they are still pretty good, they are the best trap cards for you to run in Shaddoll specifically. So that's
you want traps that are basically being proactive for your own game state instead of being proactive just to stop your opponent, because these cards do both. I wanted the traps to do both, and obviously these are the cards that do both.
You guys can think of it as like punishment sending a Titanic Lad to get you into your Dogmatic Engine. It's basically the same thing.
So actually, I will go on something. Punishment was thought in the making of this deck. Just the problem with punishment is you have to cut cards out of your extra deck to run that third app alone, because you want to be able to search for any Shaddoll card, and it is really good. But I just didn't think it was as impactful as these cards over here. These cards are just blowout cards compared to punishment. So yeah. Then we go on to our last three of is Sinister Shadow Games. I'm actually going to move this because this is part of the Shaddoll package. So Sinister Shadow Games is really good. If you guys don't know what this card does, it is a new addition to the deck, like newer. Like we weren't running it in Invoke Shaddoll, but this card basically just dumps a Shaddoll monster on command from deck to grave, and then it basically flips up all your face down Shaddolls. Like it can flip up as many as you want. So you can go activate Sinister Shadow Games, dump a Nil Shaddoll Aerial from deck to grave, banish 3 out of their grave, and then flip up per se a dragon and get a bounce on their field. So you just get absolute insane pluses on this card.
It's definitely one of the best trap cards in the deck, which is very, very cool. Yep.
Yeah, so due just to it triggering everything like insanely well, it's actually really good. And it basically just serves as another schemata. It basically becomes every single card you need in the deck. And it also really pairs well with the other traps in your deck that I'll show you right now, being Schism.
I don't think we need to explain Schism too much, actually, because Schism is just really, really good. And I think that's like the generic thing about Shaddoll is that...
So with Schism, like, with this card basically becomes a fuel for a one-card Schism, right? Because you can activate Sinister Shadow Games, then go with Schemata. And Schemata dump any card so your Schism can resolve to summon out any of your fusion monsters. So yeah, this card is obviously really good with Schism. And Schism being the amazing card that it is, banish from graveyard in the main phase and summon out your Shaddoll monsters, triggering some nasty combinations, and stopping your opponent from playing the game is ultimately what this card is going to end up doing.
So what do we have next?
Next we go one Rest Shaddoll Incarnation. This card's really good too. It's okay to open, but it is just good to dump off Construct, and it is part of some combos in the deck, so it is pretty necessary. I do really like this card in the deck. It actually is very helpful, and something that I would never really cut, just because it's like, it's still that stable card, but it's also not a card I would bump up, just because it's good at 1.
Alright, cool.
And then last we have Shaddoll Core at 1. So this card wasn't as popular before, but now it is actually getting a lot of popularity, just because it's basically an on-command send. You can add any of your Shaddoll cards from grave to hand, and it just basically turns into any attribute. So you activate on your opponent's turn, and it basically adds fuel to Schism.
Alright, so on to the extra deck.
Yeah, so that's for the main deck. We run 40 cards, really good, tight, and it's just really clean. So onto the extra deck, we run triple Construct.
Very self-explanatory.
I don't know if I have to explain this card. With Schism on your opponent's turn, you go into Construct, then send Aerial, banish out of their grave, and that's basically it for them. Actually, some really good interactions is this card. This deck's really good against Eldlik, because you can just on command banish their Eldlik cards in the grave, so they don't plus at all.
Alright, cool.
Which is actually insane.
Next up.
Then we go to triple Winda. People don't actually find triple Winda as useful, but I do. Most games I make triple Winda and burn through 2 to 3 Construct and actually 2 to 3 Winda. So yeah, most games I play, I do go through 2 to 3 of each. So I do actually need 3, and it is mandatory for me, the way I play this deck. But yeah, this is very self-explanatory. Then we go double Apollon. This card is a Searcher, and it can actually unbreak some hands. And it's an Imperm if you want to Schism with it. If you want to Schism into an Imperm if they're going into Portal Sword or something like that. This card's pretty nice.
Alright, what do we have next?
So this is for the fusion monsters. We don't want to roll more than this. This basically does the job. So yeah, if they have a light monster, you super poly into a construct. If they have a dark monster, you super poly into a window, and then you get insane pluses.
Alright.
So yeah, that's it for the fusions. Now let's go on to the links. So for the links, we go one Shaddoll construct. This card actually comes up a lot, and it also triggers your Shaddoll monster's effects. With its second effect, to special summon itself back from grave by pitching a Shaddoll monster.
Okay.
Then we go one Krashi. This card's still really good for the combo. Still really nice.
Alright.
Then we go for one Gravity Controller. This card is really good for the deck because if you have a bricky hand, you can just go into Gravity Controller in the extra monster zone, and then you can actually just get really free pluses just because you can get back whatever you dumped construct. So you can make construct, link this off into a Gravity Controller, and then you get the plus. So really good card. Then we go Artemis. Mine actually hasn't arrived yet. I'm still waiting for my Artemis.
Obviously.
But yeah, this card.
Yeah, it's a good card.
This card is really good because it's basically solo for Lord Spellcaster, so you can go any of your Shadolls. Literally any of your Shadolls that are dark work for him, except Beast, obviously. Your Aerial obviously won't work because it's Sidekick, and neither will Wendy because of Sidekick. But yeah, other than that, it becomes just a free extender and a free construct because it's a light. Then we go into Borosword. This is like basically self-explanatory. This card is really
just
good.
easy OTK pieces.
One Selene and one access code. So Selene, let me go through this. Basically, Selene creates a combo where you can just get a one-card access, a free access code on board, and an extra dump with construct because you're just going to be linking off any. You're basically, I'll show you how it goes. You basically go into Cross Sheep with a construct on board. You're probably going to have some other monsters on field as well. You're going to link these two off into a Selene, and if you have the ability to have three, you only make this obviously if you have 3 spell counters in grave because then you can't activate its effect. But with 3 spell counters in grave, then you can activate its effect, especially summon back construct. And construct effect dumps anything you need. You link these guys off into access code, you gain 3k, and you just push for game at that point. And you have 2 different pops, which is actually insane.
Thank you so much for the deck profile. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to smash that button. Comment down below what you guys think of Trap Shaddoll. And of course, once again, thank you for Mateo for coming onto the channel. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Alright guys, peace.